A Ford Escape starts at $30,000 in America. A Volkswagen Tiguan starts at $28,500. A Nissan Rogue starts at $29,000. These are basic compact SUVs with cloth seats, plastic interiors, and gasoline engines that cost $60 to fill every week. Now watch this. BYD just launched an electric SUV with leather seats, a panoramic sunroof, a 10-inch touchscreen, and 250 miles of range for $14,000. Not $40,000, not $30,000. $14,000. That's half the price of a used Honda CR-5 with 80,000 miles. This isn't some unsafe Chinese golf cart. This is a legitimate, highway-capable SUV with crash test ratings, modern safety features, and build quality that makes budget American SUVs look like they were assembled by angry teenagers. And it's already on sale in 11 countries, with more launching in 2026. Today, you're finding out exactly how BYD built an electric SUV for less than a base model Kia Soul, why global automakers are having emergency board meetings, and what this means for the collapse of budget gas SUV sales worldwide. The vehicle causing this disruption is the BYD Yuan Up, also sold as the Atto 2 in some markets. And before you dismiss this as another Chinese car you'll never see, understand this: the Yuan Up is already on roads in Brazil, Mexico, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and across Southeast Asia. It launched in South America in late 2024, with pricing starting at $14,800 and immediately became the best-selling electric SUV under $20,000. In Mexico, where it launched at 299,800 pesos, roughly $15,200, it's outselling the Nissan Kicks and Mazda CX-30 in urban markets. This isn't vaporware. This is disrupting markets right now. Let me explain what BYD actually accomplished here, because the economics seem impossible. A $14,000 electric vehicle with 250 miles of range defies everything we understand about EV production costs. Battery packs alone typically cost $7,000 to $10,000 at current sale prices. Add manufacturing, labor, shipping, dealer margins, and you should be looking at a $25,000 minimum price. But BYD isn't operating under the same constraints as Western automakers. And that's what makes this terrifying for Ford, GM, Volkswagen, and Toyota. BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, is not just a car company. They're the world's largest EV battery manufacturer, the second largest battery producer overall behind only CATL, and they manufacture their own motors, inverters, and power electronics. They control the entire supply chain vertically. When Ford builds an EV, they buy batteries from LG or SK Innovation, motors from suppliers, inverters from Bosch, and they pay market rates for all of it. When BYD builds an EV, they use their own batteries produced in their own factories using lithium from mines they have direct contracts with. They use motors and inverters manufactured in facilities they own. There's no supplier markup, there's no middleman profit. The cost savings are enormous. But vertical integration alone doesn't explain $14,000. The Yuan Up achieves this price through a combination of platform efficiency, material choices, manufacturing scale, and strategic compromises that don't impact usability but dramatically reduce costs. The Yuan Up measures 4,310 millimeters long, 1,830 millimeters wide, and 1,675 millimeters tall, with a wheelbase of 2,620 millimeters. In American terms, that's slightly smaller than a Honda HR-5 but larger than a Kia Soul. It's proper subcompact SUV dimensions, with enough interior space for 4 adults comfortably and 5 in a pinch. The ground clearance is 175 millimeters, adequate for urban driving and light unpaved roads but not serious off-roading. The design is modern and clean without being offensive. The front end features slim LED headlights, a closed-off grille, since there's no engine to cool, and a simple bumper design with air intakes positioned low for aerodynamic efficiency. The side profile shows short overhangs front and rear, maximizing interior space relative to overall length. The roofline is tall and boxy, prioritizing headroom and cargo volume over sleek aesthetics. Plastic cladding around the wheel arches gives it an SUV appearance. The rear features vertical LED taillights and a simple liftgate with a spoiler integrated into the design. The overall look is functional and contemporary. It won't turn heads, but it doesn't look cheap either. Inside is where the Yuan surprises people, because at $14,000, you expect penalty box interiors with hard plastics and manual windows. But BYD understands that emerging market buyers have smartphones and know what modern interiors should look like. The dashboard features a 1-inch rotating touchscreen that can flip between portrait and landscape orientation, depending on whether you're navigating or watching media. The resolution is decent, and the interface is responsive, running BYD's latest infotainment with Bluetooth connectivity, USB ports, and smartphone mirroring. There's a digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel displaying speed, battery level, range, and trip information. It's not a massive, high-resolution screen, but it's clear and functional. The seats are wrapped in synthetic leather, not cloth. They're not Napa leather, they're vinyl, but it looks and feels better than the cloth seats you get in budget American SUVs. The front seats have manual adjustment for recline and fore-aft position. No power adjustment, no heating, no ventilation, but they're comfortable with adequate bolstering and cushioning for long drives. The rear bench seats 3 adults with acceptable legroom and headroom. The middle seat is firm and narrow, like most subcompact SUVs, but the outboard positions are genuinely comfortable. The materials throughout are mostly hard plastic, but the textures are consistent and don't feel brittle. BYD used different surface finishes to create visual interest without adding cost. Some panels have a matte texture, others have subtle grain patterns. The door panels have vinyl covering the upper portions where your arm rests. The steering wheel is wrapped in synthetic leather with a decent grip. There are cup holders, door pockets, and a covered center console storage bin. It's not luxurious, but it's thoughtfully designed and feels more expensive than the price suggests. The panoramic sunroof is standard on most configurations. It's a fixed glass panel, not retractable, but it floods the cabin with natural light and makes the interior feel more spacious. Climate control is manual, not automatic, with physical dials for temperature and fan speed. There's a single-zone system that works adequately. The audio system has 4 speakers, which sounds basic but delivers acceptable sound quality for most listeners. Now, let's talk about what actually matters for an EV, the powertrain and battery. The Yuan uses a single front-mounted electric motor producing 70 kilowatts or 95 horsepower. That sounds anemic compared to American SUVs, but torque tells the real story. The motor delivers 180 Newton-meters from 0 RPM. That's instant torque with no lag, and it makes the Yuan feel quicker around town than the horsepower number suggests. 0 to 50 kilometers per hour takes about 3.5 seconds, which is brisk for urban acceleration. Top speed is electronically limited to 130 kilometers per hour, which is 81 miles per hour. That's adequate for highways in most countries. The battery is where BYD's vertical integration creates the cost advantage. The Yuan uses a 45 1 kilowatt-hour LFP battery pack, lithium iron phosphate chemistry. LFP batteries are cheaper to produce than NMC batteries. They're more thermally stable, so they're safer. They last longer with less degradation over charge cycles, and they don't require cobalt, which has ethical sourcing concerns. The trade-off is lower energy density, meaning you need a larger, heavier battery to achieve the same range. But for a budget vehicle where cost matters more than weight optimization, LFP is the perfect choice. The 45 1 kilowatt-hour pack provides 401 kilometers of range on the CLTC cycle used in China. Converting to real-world EPA equivalent range gives approximately 250 miles in mixed driving conditions. That's more range than a Nissan Leaf, more than a Chevy Bolt before it was discontinued, and comparable to entry-level versions of the Hyundai Kona Electric. For urban driving and daily commuting, 250 miles is more than adequate. Most people drive less than 40 miles